Welcome on in and gather round, gang. It's time for some more Total War Warhammer 3. We are here for the next entry in our legendary early game guides for Nakari and his Seducers of Slaanesh. Thank you all so much for all the support on this series so far. If you have been enjoying, please do remember to leave a like for the like god and a sub to the sub throne. It helps the channel out and I appreciate it a ton. And actually, YouTube's added an additional button down there called the hype button. Hit that as well, and it helps boost my channel's viewership up in the grand scheme of the algorithm, and helps get these videos out there. The YouTube stuff out of the way, let's get to breaking down what makes Nakari and figure out what tools we have to erect monuments to victory. For our starting army, we start with a couple of Demonettes of Slaanesh, very good demonic infantry with low armor, really solid stats. Strider, which is incredible. All of Slaanesh's units are going to have Strider, at least the marked ones will have Strider so they can ignore any of the combat penalties that would normally be applied when fighting on the different terrain types. So if you're fighting in trees, for example, all of your large units should receive a speed and melee attack bonus, or not bonus, penalty. If you're fighting in water, your small units will be doing the same. I would love to have more terrain types on each battlefield, kind of how they do in Pharaoh. Total War Pharaoh, while it wasn't received very well, had some mechanics in it that were very fun, like mud, tall grass, kind of different terrain types that really played a pretty big effect in battle. Also, we have devastating flankers, so as long as we're slamming into the side or the back of an opponent, we'll get double charge bonus, which is incredible. Marauders are Marauders, but they have pretty decent stats, and since they are marked by Slaanesh, they're faster than normal, have Strider, immune to psychology, and a little bit of additional physical resistance because they're all oiled up and it's hard for blades to make purchase. The Hellstriders are, I would say, better just because they have poison attacks and more melee defense. But in terms of weapon strength, they have very little armor-piercing damage. This was 0 initially, so it just made them trade terrible in the late game, including their Chosen, which was quite sad. We are playing with all of the DLC deactivated, so that is going to be Tides of Torment for Slaanesh, as well as the Champions of Chaos. So all of those units are not here. This is base game Nakari, and we'll see if we can claim victory with said base game Nakari. Hellflayers are great chariots as long as you can keep them moving. Hellstriders are fantastic early game, fairly cheap. Light cavalry that excels at knocking out larger targets, or war beasts, anything of the like. They're good at running it down. And then you have your Fiends of Slaanesh, which are my favorite monstrous infantry of the entirety of Slaanesh's roster. They have great stats, they're very fast, have soporific musks, so whatever they come into contact with will be fighting much worse, armor-piercing attacks. Of course, Strider, Devastating Flanker, they're just fantastic. They have great animations that just let them blend through any large unit count entity rather easily, and they duel quite well with your larger targets too. Fiends of Slaanesh are fantastic. For our faction effects, Nakari is going to be able to seduce foreign lords in the same province. We can steal lords to join his faction. We apply benefit from seductive influence, and we can dominate factions to forcibly vassalize them. We have 20 additional relations with all factions, extra allegiance points gained, so we can commandeer armies or just steal mercenaries from their army, because you're hiring mercenaries from their factions at a higher rate, and then also our vassals are going to give us a lot more tribute. One can be tricked into believing you were just going to want an absolute ton of vassals. No, what you want is maybe 5 or 6 vassals that have a lot of land and are making a bunch of gold, that way you can profit. Nakari's special effects are that he gains extra experience every time a new faction is fought in battle, which is really a little bit of a strange trait, but you can use it to good effect as long as you're being clever. Otherwise, it's just a nothing trait that does absolutely nothing. Seduce units cost, so we're going to be able to steal units for a little bit cheaper, and then enemies will have less leadership. So the most important thing to do with Slaanesh is to run down enemies that are fleeing from you, because that's how you build up your army abilities to actually use them in combat. So every little bit of extra leadership reduction you can stack up is going to be amazing. 3 main things you are going to be focusing on for Slaanesh in battle are going to be, 1, that you're much faster and have Strider, so none of the terrain penalties are going to affect you. You can lure enemies into trees and knock them out, lure them into water and surround them, all sorts of good stuff. Secondly, they have devastating flankers, so since you are so fast and you can smash into the sides, you blend apart units much faster than other factions, and usually much faster than kind of any reinforcing groups can do anything about it, which is what you need, otherwise your troops die horribly. We are of course playing on Legendary very hard for our difficulties with the stats modifier set to neutral, so they don't get any additional cheats besides what they get just from your base difficulties. That's our campaign. Let's get to dominating.
Will you savor the tastes of ecstasy with me?
We should at least savor the taste of victory with you, Nakari. Nothing else that seems dangerous. Yeah, so we are interacting with human, elf, or beastmen factions to get seductive influence. We can steal them, forcibly vassalize them, or gather devotees to perform these different pleasurable acts. The most important one tends to be the income and research rate and the pleasure party, but we'll see what we need to do as things progress. Take your forces into areas of sufficient Slaaneshi corruption to raise disciple armies. These are incredibly important. And we'll be defeating enemies and performing successful hero actions to give them gifts of Slaanesh to give us resources and debuff. Indeed, and if you look at that, this looks... they've got 2 armies. It's because you're meant to attack this first. It doesn't look like it, but if you gain 50% bonus experience for fighting a faction each time, you'll want to find the largest part of that faction's army and smash that, as opposed to going after something weak. Even though we will be outnumbered here, we could call in a disciple army pretty easily. But I don't think we need to. Before we do make our approach, we'll go ahead and go for pain for pleasure, give us a little bit more movement range, and 6% speed, weapon strength, and charge bonus. We'll just take a little bit of damage. With the lads into shape, so they're nice and excited for our attack on a Toe or our Kare. And then we will absolutely be stealing these 2 archers. For 2,000 gold, it's very worth it. You join us, we have a valiant defeat. No, definitely not. Let's show you how to besiege a settlement as the Seducers of Slaanesh. It's quite simple. How the beautiful ivory spires shall crumble. Let's grab Nakari here. And the battle plan is we are going to have Nakari stay over here for the time being. He's the only one that you can't hide in the woods. Everyone else is being very sneaky. Yes. And then as soon as we activate the battle here, they are going to go and immediately run up and over the walls.
We will obey.
Everyone's going to charge over here quickly. Marauders as well. And all of the elves will be over here. Nakari can move so dang fast. 106 speed that even if they want to catch up with him, there's no way they can. And our troops can easily get up and over these walls. Or we'll have you ladies go for it. Send the demonettes up and over. And then our archers will kind of keep outside. And Nakari is zooming. Oh, they're sending the Illyrian Reavers. Nope, they're breaking him out back. You can even have Nakari rather come in after this gatehouse to make them think that's where you're going. They've deployed the ladders. As soon as they start actually climbing, then we'll have them get some different orders here. Get down there and capture the zone.
Come then. Get them.
A dark bargain. To the next victory.
Right, Nakari not under fire, he's entirely fine. We can sit here and then just start giving him the whip. Good old lash to Slaanesh. I would much rather Nakari be able to come on inside. So come on around. It's going to take him too long to actually get through the gatehouse. As soon as we've broken through, seek that sin.
Move with grace.
We cannot refuse.
I would prefer you don't go over the walls, please. See if we can't tell them. One got the idea.
To the next victory.
There we go. He's gonna be a little bit direct with it. Illyrian Reavers getting shot to pieces on their way in. Sorry, fools.
Death nation.
Okay.
Enjoy your
So
day.
now the idea...
Dark whispers of glory.
Illyrian Reavers tend to be pretty weak.
Archers. Torture's sweet kiss. Decadent seekers. We go.
Infantry, let's have the two of you charge here. Nori, get in after these archers, go for the whip. Break up the others. He gets shot to pieces really quickly.
Spread decadence and depravity.
All of our fast movers get in there.
Kill.
Archers, we go.
Archers get a bit closer. We'll have the demonettes go in and slaughter these Illyrian Reavers.
The debauched ones.
Keep them busy for a moment.
Eternal hunters.
Alright, looks like the archers are completely exposed. Charge them.
Soul drinker.
That's how simple. Let's go this way. We just want to make sure these spears don't get too much closer. We can just go for a strike there.
Sin and depravity. Ravage them.
Finding fresh souls.
Bringers.
Have the chariots rip through. Nakari come back. As soon as you fully wipe out a unit, Nakari gets a nice burst of heals.
Demonettes.
Charge them. I would just have these marauders not do anything.
Archers,
Archers continue to come on round.
march swiftly.
Supple servants of
Briefly, as long as they're not working for our opponents here.
Demonettes of Slaanesh.
The pact requires it.
The Dark Princess servant.
Slash.
Push through Nakari. We can use the whips in here. Disrupt those spearmen, no problem. Chariots push through into the archers.
Yes.
To the next victory. Drinking pain.
And just keep bouncing around.
Behold the magnificence. Sin.
Marauders. Lacerate them.
There we flit.
Lost a few of the Hellstriders. Bring them away from the spearmen for a moment.
By hunger.
As long as Nakari can break them.
Slay them.
Just unit of spears up here, and then if we get Nakari over for a lash of Slaanesh, that'll pretty well clear that. We need the demonettes to come back too.
Drinking pain.
Decadent.
Let those Hell Scourges get in there.
Sealed to our steeds.
Enemy Lord's broken.
Symphony of slaughter.
Drop the whip through. Nothing but white flags in the background here. Send in the demonettes one more time.
The eternal hunters.
Our archers are getting too much friendly fire here.
Marauders of Slaanesh.
Thracian Lord's hanging in there.
Feeding our addiction. Onward.
And Akari kicks his way through, no problem.
Flesh can tap a factor.
Outnumbered, but with Slaanesh, that's never a problem, as long as you outspeed them.
We are your death. We are
First battle won quite easily, and we gained 4,000 experience for Nakari. It's incredible. Go ahead and sack the settlement as well. Need a little bit more experience. As why doesn't tell you to engage a certain army specifically, your Throne Lorelei is kind of more a A false trail. Torakari gets you more skills.
The Tempter Lord.
We'll grab Root Marcher and Lash of Slaanesh into Blissful Rapture. Is this more melee attack? It's not bad, is it?
My divine master.
Corruption and Rapid Ruination for our Cultist. Spreading Slaaneshi Corruption is extremely important because it also is going to increase your overall income from buildings and give you a much higher budget for seducing units. We'll then take Nikari and charge directly into Lorelei. Poor lass. She stands 0 chance, especially with only 1 set of archers. That is not enough. And in this lovely forest battle, you would expect, oh, the elves are going to have an advantage. Oh no, they can't use their arrows, and my units all have Strider.
The pangs of suffering. Willing
Let's
slave.
go find us some elves.
No one faster.
We'll send this flank round in the woods,
The deepest pleasure.
and the cultist needs to go join the rest of the infantry. Nikari can't hide no matter how much you might wish.
Body moves.
But we also don't want him to get shot by elves.
Move.
Notice how his large bulk is not hindered in the slightest by the trees. It's a bad day to be elves for sure.
Body moves.
Maim. Kill.
Infantry, send you after
Slay them.
each of those units directly.
Guided by hunger.
Whips, we want you to charge here. And Nikari, you can go deal with the archers. How delicious indeed. Flow like wine. Charge back in. Let's acquiesce the Princess Lorelei here. Here come the infantry. We won't be able to watch the battle too well just because we are in the woods. We can overcast the whips. Do a bunch of damage through there, just keep Nikari moving. Even at slam into the spearman next. Cultist, you go duel Lorelei. Nikari gets the extra speed, and you can go help out with Lorelei as well. That's a one battle. Nikari with the double chop. And princesses are actually very, very good duelists. Nikari is just better in every way. There go the lawnmower blades. Alright, Nikari, you've lost your target. Can't have that. Go kill the princess. There it is. Nikari gets to heal every time a unit is fully wiped out, so we're going to chase down everyone we can here, and I'll catch you all in a quick moment. Yes, and for defeating Lorelei, you only get 1,500 experience, so if you boost that by 50%, you're only going to get 700 more. That's why we went after the major settlement first. Here we are going to go ahead and take the... the devotees actually aren't all that important, so we'll take the replenishment. We'll gain enough devotees through combat that forcibly turning the elves into devotees isn't super important just in the early game. We do, though, want to go ahead and pop in this devotee army right here. Germain is going to turn around and go reclaim Akare. Yes, we sacked it. We're going to go ahead and take it.
We will desecrate their home.
Since we can't quite reach Elysia, we'll just come on back and recruit. Wooden Marauders are nice and cheap. Demonettes are just strong, though. Same thing with Furies. Let's just go the 2 Demonettes for now. We'll grab a couple of Furies to get into back lines much faster. We will repair the damage to Akare and then tear out the Lavish Ciborium. Then go growth over in the Shrine of Kurnos. We will pick up Inspiring Presence for the steady experience gain, and then increase mobility for our cultist. We'll also go ahead and recruit a Herald of Slaanesh, not to have any troops, but to travel with Nikari as an additional hero.
Don't stop.
For your technology, especially for Nikari, you're going to want to go ahead and pick up the Princess Perfection for a little bit more resistance for all of your demon units. And then actually most of these upgrades to the demonic units are really strong, including Unyielding Assault for Demons and their Exalted Kin. You will already start with a treaty with both Marathi and the Elves in Safari. So what we are going to do is offer to join her war against Sildonator. She'll give us trade, and that will allow us to further influence Marathi. If we manage to vassalize her and the other Dark Elves in Malekith, we'll have a ton of cash flowing in. You will then begin with a cult in the White Tower. I believe this cult is random, but it may be every single time in the White Tower. Starts with a Charm Offensive, which is not bad, but it is using devotees. So we're going to go on in and entice some devotees to come live with us. Alright, it's turn 2, and we can kind of take a look around at our main enemies. Which, since we are pretty much the sole antagonist at the moment here on the Donut of Ulthuan, Noctilus will show up at some point. But it's always kind of a dice roll whether he actually does anything at all, so we'll see. We're going to have this Herald lead the invasion on Elysia,
Slaanesh.
and Nakari is just going to get close enough to reinforce. Now you chill out for now.
Sweet suffering.
Yes.
I'll
And then we've got ourselves a close victory. They do have Lothern Seaguard and some ship's company. Impressive. We'll see how well that keeps them alive. Since our lord's all alone, we just start the battle and try to keep her hidden.
suffering. I go.
Not like the elves are really going to do anything about her anyway. Melkoth's Mystifying is a fair bit of damage, and Enfeebling Foe is not bad. 24 and 24, and we can couple that up with Acquiescence. Alright, Nakari and the reinforcements have arrived. So let's start moving through the woods. Let's not run, we're going to walk. Demonettes, you stay right behind the Marauders, which we're going to spread them out, and then troll down until they're in as square of a formation as possible. Chariots and cavalry being able to be used in the woods with full efficacy is just incredible. And all of our heroes can go bother their Lothern Seaguard. Easily the strongest units they have access to here.
A tempting destination.
That's really not saying much. Alright, we finally closed the gap, took a little bit. We're gonna have our Marauders just go ahead and charge across into his swordsmen and such. And go ahead and try to shoot through the woods, fools.
The soul flayer.
Nakari and company, go ahead and charge. Now, not quite. Don't make it easy on them. But I will go ahead and drop a nasty Dovercast Whip. Kill half the Sea Guard. Not the Sea Guard, but I guess the ship's company. Roll it into the guard. There's nothing they can do about it. Kill these archers in the back line, the ones that are not as guarded. Demonettes are here. Melkoth's Mystifying. And then we just keep our units moving. Attacking me is what we call a bad idea, sir. Chariots, keep them moving. In fact, let's grab all of Group 3 and have them charge into these spearmen here. Break them quickly. Speed and give Nakari the way to get in there to save the day, too. As long as you're staying moving at Slaanesh, you are succeeding. Back into the spearmen, please. Chariots doing a great job. Minutes back through, we'll have both of the Furies crash in together. Well done, Nakari, well done. They offer their souls so willingly. Trace's new sea helm gets backhanded straight into the ocean where he belongs. We were simply sending you home, sir. Oh, I kind of want to sack the settlement too. It's a lot of cash. We're gonna go ahead and just loot and occupy Elysia. And then we'll have Nikari turn.
The Tempter Lord.
Sorry, what happened to Nikari's movement? Excuse me? Okay, there we go. It was just the notifications. It's like, okay, well, we did something cool. Now let me have my rewards, please. Alright, next we should charge in and take out Kothique. If we can remove Kothique from the Elven Noble list, that would be fantastic. Do we need to camp out in Akari directly? We might. Or Jermaine's gonna have to take attrition no matter what. I think even if we're... Yeah, even if we're raiding. We'll use you as a scout then. Oh, that's some attrition. Not like she's gonna do that much anyway, but still. That's quite a bit of attrition.
Tempter Lord.
Engineer's knapsack, and we'll give the potion of speed to Nikari. Boost up that speed by 10%, so up to 116. He is zooming. And more Slaanesh corruption is the way into... We've got 2 skills. Inspiring Presence and Route Marker.
Such wondrous.
Then Nikari, we shall grab a couple more Demon Nets. That's going to pretty much max out the number of troops we're able to acquire. We get a lot more devoted Marauders, but the Demon Nets just hit like absolute trucks. Then we'll just grab our Unholy Manifestations here, and they did update these for Slaanesh, so they're quite a bit better. Carnival of the Damned, as a matter of fact, you can just drop this in at any settlement you want, so... The Slaaneshi Circus rolls in, shows you some jiggles, and they leave. They lose growth. 33 additional Slaanesh corruption, seems like a good idea. Nakrasith tends to get destroyed anyway, so we're just going to prepare the populace to be slaughtered by Slaanesh in the future.
Feared by all.
Yes. Devotee enticement it is, and I think we'll save on the rest here. We can even teleport Nikari over if we want. Should we see a L'Oreal in a bad spot, we'll upgrade the Eternal Mirror in the Shrine of Kurnos, and then at Akare, we'll just go ahead and grab that Dance of Dreaming, because we are definitely going to be down into the super negative control quite soon. I think we'll go ahead and throw a pleasure party for the growth and control. Mostly for the growth.
Opulent debauchery.
Then getting our corruption up to 100 matters most of all, so we'll go ahead and foster cults until we get there, and then we'll switch it over to the Rebels' Eternal Pleasure. Scourge of Cain is getting chopped in half, but we will go ahead and pick up a non-aggression pact with them and siphon some of their gold.
Your request?
Safari is almost
The
willing to
Phoenix Throne
trade.
will hear your plea.
I don't really want to give them 1,000 though.
I'm listening.
Something didn't quite look right, so I decided we're gonna go ahead and grab Jermaine here and just have them hide behind Nikari. Right, well we didn't get the ambush and somehow the AI did the whole thing where I think... So what they do is when you initiate an attack, you can hit backspace right as you enter the kind of aura of protection of a unit, and then you can attack them. So that's how they get in and attack units, even if they're actually hidden behind another one. So we won't worry so much that Nikari's not the main force, just means he won't be getting the most amount of experience. We'll still be getting that boosted by 50%, which is nice, and the elves are going to be having to fight in the woods, which is so horrible for them. You think you own the woods. Alright, here we are. And yes, the fact that he somehow put himself between Nikari and this army tells you all you need to know. They managed to get inside of his aura and then just hit backspace, which... I mean, I'm glad the AI knows how to do that, but also, should they know how to do that? We'll make do. They're gonna come looking for our Herald. If they can kill her before Nikari gets here, they are going to win. So, she is in operation run away from the stinky elves. Nikari and our cultist, you're gonna run to this section of the map. I said Nikari and our cultist. Evil Troll doll, you stay back here for now. Let's get all of our Marauders and have them deploy in the woods. Everyone's running in aggressively. Stop it. You're way too quick for your own good. Slow like wine back into the woods. Ari and the cultists can come charging across. We'll have our marauders just inside the woods. And then here come the rest of the reinforcements. Just bring them down and across. Evil Troll Doll, you come rushing up. Alright, Ikari and the cultists, you go jump these archers. All of our large units are going to get ready to do the same. Furies over the top. Charge them, marauders. Where'd Dakari go? Well, that's annoying. Units that ignore orders are, not units I like to have. No way you got caught. No shot. Bring the, demonettes back a bit here. You charge these units down. Slam in. Nikari being caught in sea helms is ridiculous. Let's stop that, please. Demonettes charge up and in. Butcher them. Alright, Nikari, time to start dropping the overcast whips. Slaughter as many spears as you can. Bring this whole line in. And just keep moving. Demonettes you see here, we'll have the... Just swap positions there.
Perfection.
Attack! Do it.
Torture, sweet kiss.
Slay them!
I accept temptation.
Consume them! Endless craving!
Time! Hunt them down! Feast! Power of Slaanesh!
Rend.
Pain and despair!
Come then. Ravishing slaughter. Fight and bleed, Slaanesh.
And unfortunately for the Lords of Kalfika, looking cool is not enough to keep you alive. That's not how you get plot armor. Sorry, sir. Holy. 600 devotees. Alright, and in the next room, we're actually getting to see what I was talking about in the end of our Skaven campaign rather early on. What is this army doing? She's in March and she's out to sea, so what happens when the AI calculates that they can't win anymore against you is they will take an army and they just send them, yeet them out into the void. That way they can have some chance of surviving and just delaying you. It's really unfortunate that it takes that strategy, but it does every time, so you kind of just have to
For souls.
deal with it. Oh, we only got to get a single skill point. That's really unfortunate. That other lord may better have gotten a whole bunch. Slaves to excess allows us to capture more casualties posed in battle. I've got Mochi trying to make my life comfortable right now. Would you quit? We're trying to destroy the elves. And to better do so, we're going to pick up a Pavane of Slaanesh, one of my favorite of Slaanesh's spells. For 10 seconds, they're going to take damage and lose their stamina. And then for 14 seconds after that, they rampage. It is most excellent. Taking a look at what the cultist is already decent at, we'll just make her harder to hit. Up to 62 defense is pretty solid.
Herald.
Our
of
Herald.
Slaanesh.
We're going to make you better at casting spells. And give you a Penumbral Pendulum to knock out big blocks of archers.
Tool of sweetest torture.
I don't think you need to torture anyone with that, truth be told.
Secret
Nakara, so actually, can we send this army led by Germain out to sea to kill you, Layla Quinn? We could, but only after we go through Misnar. A plan is forming,
Artisan of pain.
but taking down Misnar with just these two is gonna be tough, so we'll see what we can do. Nakara, you take down Melinar here at Tor Coriolis. We've seen how easy this fight is. A crushing defeat. Hang on. You don't have walls. What do you mean crushing defeat? But Nakari, look at all the archers he has. Yeah. I'm going to steal some. We'll steal the ones with armor, and then the ones that don't. We don't have that kind of money. We'll steal just the ones with armor. Yoink.
Who will fight pleasure now?
See, you work for pleasure now. Indeed they do. Crushing defeat. These big purple cheeks. Alright, once again, we make them think that Nakari and the other units that can't hide are going to attack this side with a hidden batch from the woods over here, when in fact, they're not over there at all. Let it begin. Oh, you poor fools. They actually did deploy some units to stop this, though. It's just not enough. Cultists get to the gates. Up and over the top. Marauders are going to be in charge of catching arrows, and then you two demonettes help out getting through the gates. Help out. Chariots actually get through gatehouses fairly quickly, so we're going to set them to that. We can leave the Sea Helm be. He's not actually going to be a threat. And then our own elven archers, we're just going to bring them in to shoot at these. Yeah, see, they got their contact effects. They actually do a pretty decent job. Demonettes, you stay back. Got a cross. Only the demonettes can really fight in melee, and they're taking more damage than I would like. Come on then, Furies, hurry up. We've got some archers that need a hug. Thankfully, though, the archers have gotten a bit confused. They're shooting at a couple of our units. If you don't pick a target, you are going to struggle. Take them down.
Your desires are mine.
They're actually doing terrible against the gate. I was wrong.
Endless suffering.
Dual Furies, though, deals with their archers. Let's have our archers shoot in to save the day. Our Furies can get up and away. Alright, Nakari, you get into the gates. In fact, we'll probably send more of the demonettes over the top. Archers start blasting in here. You can do it, Furies. I believe in you. Oh, just barely out of range. You're lucky. Oh, but actually you're not. Because I can still... Oh, I can't. Cheeky. Fair enough. Man, I'd rather we not lose our Furies here, but look how focused they are on killing them. Slip your way out of there, Furies. You got this. Help Nakari with those gates. Why did you not just deploy more ladders? That'd be awesome. And we are thankfully winning against that group. Keep shooting these archers for me, or spearmen.
Now, into
Alright, good. They managed to escape. Go maul these archers again. Still continuing to shoot it. Not my target. And the demonettes are surrounded. Charge them. Charge them, charge them. And you go across.
Bring us soap! Finding fresh soap!
Alright, now the Furies are free to go help out on the walls. And help they shall.
Marauders! Finding fresh.
Yeah, get those Marauders up there as well. Demonettes, you help by killing these spearmen, please. I love how confused you guys are. There are a lot of them. Do what you can to dodge those arrows. Are we through the gates yet? And almost.
Loyal.
There we go. Now we're through. Let's go get to work.
Marauders of Slaanesh!
Forward.
Archer's not doing anything useful.
Advance.
No, come on, guys. You can do it.
Victory!
No, we had it. We had it. Come on.
On the hunt!
Just go through the gates. There you go. Looks like half of you figured it out. Or you can just, well, a nice charge there is fine. And then blast right through.
Bring us a joyous degradation.
Chariots you come with. Let's just go for a normal whip here, these archers. We don't need anything more. Run down the Lothar Sea Guard. Come on in and join the fight. Broken them on the walls, no problem. Walking through the gates. Well done, cultists, well done. Archers, your job is to kill these Lothar Sea Guard. Flesh Tempter perfected. Everything on the walls is given up. We can just farm some kills for a moment. Archers are gone as well. Alright. Fiends, let's have you come on in. We actually can't capture that zone because they're leadership point. Over this way then. All of our infantry moving. Fiends can just drop in right on top of the archers. You want to be cheeky? We've got the counter. I can force you to come fight us too. There it is. Now destroy the barricade for me. Not you, Furies. You get away. Getting shot to pieces by the towers is unfun. I can't lie. Come on, demons. Bring yourselves. And they all gave up on their orders. That's weird. Attacking it from the other side is bizarre. Alright, let's go ahead and send the whip through. Drop in on the spearmen. Come on then. That was leave the Sea Helm to his own devices. He can listen to the screams of his men. Yeah, those archers are just freaking out. They have no idea what they're doing. Neither do the defenders of Kathik. Ah, they spelled decisive victory wrong. That was the problem. That makes sense now. We only lost 176, which is exactly what you like to see. Actually, I think a bit more experience than we gained against Sarah the first time. Ooh, I'm tempted. We are going to just loot and occupy, though. Melinar now has a gift of Slaanesh, and he has to move on. Call me ridiculous, will you, sir? So the defenders of Mistnar. Ah, there's more of them than you'd expect, aren't there? Well, we might want Nakari to get the extra experience for fighting them.
I will consider any suggestion.
He's still dealing with Skullcrag, and as soon as they're gone, he's going to turn after us. Fair enough, fair enough. Okay, so we'll have Germain. Can't hunt down Leia Quinn, which is unfortunate.
All souls will yield for Slaanesh.
Back to Torikari. Jermaine is going to get kicked out.
Privileged of
They're costing us devotees, and I don't feel like dealing with that right now.
the herald.
Then, we'll just grab some more Marauders, because they're cheap. Can we afford both of them? I don't think so. Are we being charged 1,000 per Marauder? We'll take an upgrade Torikari to the Dimensional Breach, which I could have swore we already did, but we're not going to worry about that right now.
The
Wally.
Lord.
Why are they all starting as Soul Keeps? That's the worst version, especially for Nikari. We want Dimensional Tears. They give you a lot more growth. Now I say we just let those continue to repair themselves.
Just a sample.
And then if anyone needs more troops, it's Nikari. We'll grab the old slaves to access, so we're picking up plenty of casualties every battle because we definitely are going to need the extra income. If we can sell a lot of our captives, then great. Then we're going to go ahead and spin some of our devotees to power up Tor Onlek and give them some corruption.
Yes,
Before
strange
we end the
creature.
turn, we'll
What do you
just...
see?
Strange creature. For 1,000. They'll be getting a lot more gold than we will. So you know what we'll do instead? I will just give you a very small gift. I will offer you a payment of 700. You know what? Why aren't we getting trade out of it? Never mind. I'll take the 1,000 for trade.
A wise course.
Yes, and we shall eventually just dominate you. And on turn 5, we pick up a follower that enjoys eating swan. That's bizarre. Boiled goose for them. So where did Leia Quinn even go? She's just way over here towards the marshes of Corona. My plan is to be back with regiments of renown.
Submission.
I shall build an army. Neat. Well, now you guys have a -7 leadership base. We're gonna come over here and butcher Melinar. Oh, there's Leia Quinn. Hello, lass. You shall die as well. At this point, it just has no idea how strong Nikari's forces are. We should go ahead and just give... Ooh, let's go more armor piercing on the Fiends. I lied, on the Hellstriders. That's fun. Then we charge on in. We're gonna have to fight most of your battles here across most of the game with Slaanesh, because that's the way Slaanesh is. Auto-resolve likes armor, and guess who has no armor? Alright, we're deployed. We've got 2 teams. One to slay the reinforcements when they show up, and then they can bring themselves in to be reinforcements themselves. And then the other team to just crush in and kill as many elves as possible. Should be fun. We'll see if the Furies manage to survive. The minor settlements actually are even more dangerous than major settlements with the high elves, just because of their high range and really strong missile damage. Stay just outside of that really good range. 2 minutes. We got plenty of time. Let's go ahead and grab just 2 squads. A your squad 1, a your squad 2. Make it easier for us to give them orders. Okay, so what's the most important thing for us to break here? Really, this isn't very concerning. Marauders, you charge these spearmen. You go after the Lothern Sea Guard. That's a Lothern Sea Guard. Then Nikari. Lothern Sea Guard.
To our will. Sweet.
Cut through into those archers. We'll just kind of leave the demonettes back. Time to start dodging arrows.
No one faster.
No one faster.
They shall acquiesce.
Indeed.
Casting.
Blends right through. Give him a nasty whip.
Marauders!
A perverse indulgence.
It just wades through their line. Nikari is terrifying.
Degradation.
Attack.
They're chipping damage in there little by little.
Maim. Kill.
Slam into these archers here. Whips. Move through.
Demoness.
As soon as I see that reinforcing army show up, we can give them the orders. That is a nasty whip of Slaanesh if we can get in time. Reinforcements are here. Oops, we need to get back over to Group 2 and have them all attack.
Faction. Make them scream. Purple winds. Demon.
Nah, there's no escape. There is just the void. Alright, they're dead in a hurry. Nikari. Those Reavers out of your way. Let's have the entire army here. Switch sides.
Hunt them down!
Yep, you heard me. Switch sides. Boost Nikari's speed.
At once! Consume them!
Looks like the reinforcements are already done and dusted. Whip them one more time here.
Pain and despair!
Keep on moving. Nikari, you go straight into the ship's company. They stand less than no chance. Then Group 2, you get over here. Well done, gang. Well done. Chariots roll into the company. And it's just a tide of purple and red. Everyone fleeing is taking damage slowly because of Nikari, and then we'll just bring him across to kill old Melinar here. If we even need to, he might just give up. Make sure we at least poison him. Good boys. Now charge in with those whips and show the elves a good time. Shake it off, lad. Well done. It's just a scratch. Oh, here comes Nikari. No longer just a scratch. And that's the battle. Coffee handled, but we are nowhere near safe yet. Another victory, most divine. 62 of ours fall. That's no problem whatsoever. We could subjugate them, but I don't think that's a good idea. We want all of this territory for ourselves, and those get wiped out by another minor settlement. Or just by another faction in general. We'll go ahead and sack Misnar. Lyaquin survives for the time being.
The Tempter Lord.
And let's go ahead and claim it. It's another battle for us, a little bit more experience, and we can subjugate them still. I'm tempted, but now we're not going to.
Take it.
That's the Worm Stealer Sword. Loses all bonus via infantry, but gains versus large. But you have to sacrifice some melee defense. Not so bad at all, actually. Especially if Eltharion is up on any kind of mount by now. We can just give Nikari the Worm Stealer Sword and profit. We'll go ahead and increase our mobility just a little bit more. Leia will attack us here on the next turn, and we still don't have very much money. One of the main issues for Nikari. In fact, to such a degree, I'm thinking this army is not needed. We're just going to be extremely aggressive with Nikari and give him a really decent force. 4 Demonettes tends to be a solid number, and these are half the cost. So we'll pick up a few more. Go for numbers. Alright, we're at 100 Slaanesh corruption here, so let's swap over to our growth and proliferate cults cost reduction. And in Kofik, we'll just switch to good old foster cults to build up that Slaanesh corruption. Yeah, there's ourselves a chat with the big old gobbo. I'll join you in your war with Aquitaine, and you give me... That's not very much dosh at all, is it? Never mind. We need not to talk with Jabba the Gobbo. Turn 6, Silverator is gone, Kofik is gone. I picked up a Trister Shard, as well as having a good time with Ilian there. We'll see if there's anything out at the ocean for us to grab real quick. There's a mysterious island here. Erupting the oceans. Mist clings to the ground, and we are going to want Power of Rage. 25% more resistance, so we're up to 50% resistance on our Demonettes? Oh yeah. See, now that's some good stuff. We won't even get to replenish for a turn, or actually recruit for a turn. But it won't matter.
You may bow.
Take up the Princess of Perfection here for some spears.
Answer to me.
And then, yeah, we'll just go ahead and grab the Devotee Army, grab a couple more Demonettes, and we'll charge in here after Tour of Rest.
Existence grows
Rake
gray and
Eltharion before he gets a chance to actually build up. We'll then repair Misnar and the port. And allow the turn to go on by. Turn 7, Skullcrag is gone, but that means they're down here in Cairn Fell. So he's going to take a few turns at least to get back up here towards Tour of Rest, and we're going to take that advantage. Frustrated Affinity gives us missile block chance and melee defense for our Demonettes, which is fantastic.
Must taste flesh.
Must taste flesh. Honestly, though, we hit Tour of Rest now. They're gonna have nothing to defend. Drop in a Disciple Army. Much more elite than the previous one because of the higher Slaanesh corruption. And then we'll have Nakari.
The waste stones cannot be safe.
Yeah, now's when the full war against the elves starts. Let's do this.
Unthinkable weakness.
Yeah, that's what we thought when we saw Tour of Rest being undefended. Ooh, that's too bad.
Break their souls.
Can I split up very effectively? No, so we'll just roll together.
Flush.
Channel. The reinforcements. And still, even though this is decisive here, you don't want to auto-resolve this one. In fact, even if you just don't bring this army in at all, don't use them, just have Nakari swarm up and over as we have been thus far, and it should be fine. So let's get to that. I'm going to actually consider this an auto-resolve. You've seen how to handle this battle. In fact, like I said, keep these guys back and don't let them take any damage. Well, I thought about leaving this one out, then I loaded up and I remembered, yeah, Tour of Rest is his own unique kind of map style, which is basically just one of the Empire forts. So it does warrant us teaching you how to play it, so let's go for it. We're just going to use our speed to go attack somewhere else. Not sure how they're actually activating that tower there. Oh, their archers are splitting up kind of weird. I'm not worried. We can basically just get straight in here with Nakari, especially with that burst of speed to the gatehouse, and it's not a very high tier settlement, thankfully enough. And the archers rotated, which is a bad idea. Allows Nakari to get into the gatehouse completely unscathed. Our Demonettes are getting shot at. I don't like that at all. 50% physical resistance is going to wear out eventually. As it definitely already has. Or they get him with a cage. The Warden's Cage.
Marauders of Slaanesh! Yes!
torture sweet kiss.
Yep, move right on across. Then we'll have the Furies go maul the archers, who are now undefended. We could use the Pavane to open the gates, but I want more of our units here. Furies, try not to just fly straight at them if you can help it. Chop, chop, chop. Here come the reinforcements.
Pain and despair!
That's a fine place for them to post up at. Since they don't replenish at all, I'd prefer not to have them take damage if we can help it. Interesting. Here are the archers that are exposed. There's one there. And then we'll still drop it on these guys. Oh, it was a complete fake. That was not much damage for it. There we go, not bad. Alright, well done, heavily armored archers. They actually stayed alive extremely well, killed my Furies, no problem. Alright, well, we lose a unit of Furies. That's annoying. Something that definitely didn't need to happen. Sit in the chariots. Akari, we need you to start knocking out archers. Demons, get in there. Bonus damage. Weaken those silver helms. Yeah, our Furies aren't making it out, but that's okay. I'm deciding to sacrifice them. They did almost nothing in terms of damage, so we're not impressed. Chariots, keep moving. Somehow those Furies are just continuing to regain their leadership, which is great. Lots of spears. Whip. Smash right in. Let's move over here and save these Furies. And somehow these survived and the others didn't. No one knows. And we'll send in the cavalry. Overwhelming swarm of them. You guys come ripping around. Akari, you should be in a fight. It's easy to win.
Profusion of suffering.
As soon as they get into range, give them the whip. Quarter of the health gone.
Endless craving.
Here come the rest of the cavalry. And they just charge right through. Oh, didn't quite get the angle. Still great damage, though. Oh, those are Phoenix Guard. Let's get away from the Phoenix Guard. Send you two in duel with the Guard of the Phoenix.
The deepest pleasure.
Really?
Driven by pain.
Alright, go around then. They're gonna learn the hard way. Akari with the Overcast Whip. Probably a little bit too far away. Slam into the back line here. Rip these archers apart. And these guys shot at you too. They need a hug. One swarm. Okay, they'll have the Seekers all rush to the side. Drop the Acquiescence here. At this point, if the Furies die, so be it. I'll just replace them with Demonettes. Phoenix Guard break. And that's a victory. Poor Eltharion got so caught up conquering the Greenskins, he didn't keep his house safe. A decisive... Oh, the poor Furies didn't come back from the dead. What a shame. We'll just go ahead and occupy Torbress. Keep it as high tier as possible. It stays at tier 1. Well, sometimes you suffer. Got a pasture. Okay, so we didn't even upgrade Torbress at all. How do you have the money for your units? We'll see how strong his army is.
Wretch. For Ulthuan to survive, you must meet your...
I must meet my
Most privileged
wretch.
of
We'll drop down another pleasure party in Trace. They're having the greatest time up there. Phoenix Gate's been conquered as well, so we are going to be dealing with Alarielle soon. Enemies everywhere.
Eternal taster.
More Marauders for Nakari, since we'd have no other choice.
Affirmation.
We get Flesh Tempter naturally, that's great. Reduce units budget plus 30% and cost minus 15%. We also get Willing Prey, casualties captured plus 10%. And the enemies are going to have less melee defense, and we get the Willing Prey ability. Huge. Huge negative. And then our most important pickup is going to be Whisper of Glory. Charge bonus for the entire army. Nakari himself gets 20 seconds on his charge bonus instead of just 10, and he will deliver a leadership penalty even while hitting from the front. And also, anyone he's around is going to suffer melee defense and rampage. It is horrifying. Our cultists can get a Gate of Slaanesh. We're going to go ahead and pick up the second tier of that. And we'll just quickly pick up another Herald of Slaanesh, this time the Depraver.
Most privileged of Slaanesh.
And we'll give her some Marauders. For our technology, we'll continue to upgrade our Demonettes with the Blessed Young, giving them more armor-piercing damage and the Unyielding Assault attribute, so no matter what happens, their melee attack will never be reduced during battle. No matter how exhausted, no matter what spells you cast, they'll always have the highest melee attack possible. Turn 8 is upon us, and our Demonettes went out for spring break and broke a bunch of other people's souls. How fed? 600 to be exact.
Master, your search for the blade.
Oh yeah, no, we're not gonna fight that. All of the Warhammer 3 quest battles are a doozy. Do you think we can currently take on 2 Star Dragons and this many Sisters of Avalorn? Absolutely not.
Pleasure without conscience.
Alariel's moving in. That means we have to be fast about killing off Eltharion.
Divine immortality.
I want their secrets.
March down to Trilinia. I don't trust the auto-resolve, but we're gonna do this for science. It's not as bad as it could have been, but it's like 30 units per guy, per Marauder seems a bit much.
You are little more than thieves.
I mean, that's fair. Not gonna say you're wrong.
Prince's Herald.
Vital. I mean, we're definitely going to need the devotee army over here.
Herald of the Dark Prince.
Oh, it switched just in time.
Depravity
Well, that's too bad. Stop recruiting those guys then, because you can't.
Supplication will suffice.
And we'll have you grab some Furies, because Demonettes are too expensive right now.
Most privileged.
Or a Kare up to the Dimensional Rift. I think that's probably a good call. We are a little bit behind in terms of overall growth. Our main military building we do want, though, is going to be our Sensuous Caress for Fiends of Slaanesh. Everything else here is a little bit lackluster. Getting the Alluresses is fine, and then any of your chariots. Secret Chariots are also pretty good, up into the Exalted Secret Chariot and the Hellflayers, which work very well together. But besides that, your infantry, the Demonettes, work entirely fine. You don't need anything. You don't need anything else. We're gonna go ahead and upgrade Torikare, upgrade the Pageant of Pain, and then we will also pick up the Lavish Ciborium to make as much money as possible. You know what? I lied. No, we need the walls. Is there any way we can get a little bit more cash? Corone. You are. I'll join your war with Musion, sir.
You do not walk my line. I will.
You talk a whole bunch of smack for someone who just agrees.
Great honor.
Morathi.
What's wrong with you, Marathi? Strategic threat? You're currently fighting Clan Gritus. I will
Yes.
happily
What do you bring
give you no
before
money.
the hag sorceress?
I offer to
How
join your war.
wicked.
How wicked indeed. She's now curious. I feel like Marathi always was, though. Let's be real.
The world's gonna be drums.
Broken Axe Tribe. I don't know if they'll survive. They tend to actually get crumped by the
Fear
Bretonians.
my malice. Words have the power to wound. Displease me, and you will see.
I would like to steal your money, but you don't actually have that much, and you're going to get
By
destroyed by Alariel.
All souls will yield for Slaanesh.
Still not quite enough. Okay, well, I actually think we need the walls over the cash. Then we pick up Harvester of Souls for more replenishment, more post-battle loot, and more heals for Nakari whenever he wipes out a unit.
Speak.
More uses for our Gate of Slaanesh.
Must haste.
Pop down ye ol' foster cults is Torkoriwali up to 100. Not quite yet. And then we can foster cults worldwide. Let's do it.
The tendrils of pleasure.
Just in think. Oh,
Titan.
all over. Really? Just all over Ulthuan, huh? Works for me. I was gonna say we could use. Oh, and the Witchwood too. So what is he really, really highly keyed towards getting cults and elven settlements? That's awesome. Now, no matter what, if things get weird, we can just yeet Nakari out of there. Will we be able to afford his army? And probably not. 600 for some devotees. No, we're just going to leave these cults here for now, because they're expensive to do anything with. And I need at least 300 of these to summon in an army to fight Alarielle. Yeah, like I said, we'll replace the Fury's Laws with Demonettes. And then Vital here, I would love for you to go see what's happening.
Then slash.
Exactly. You get it. The old two-part attack. So we got Eltharion hanging out in Carenthel, and his army is actually the weakest of all of them. Likely.
Misguided.
This one is probably the one we're going to want to fight first, if we can.
One man's pain is another's pleasure.
Short victory has you fighting Atane, Avalorn, and Everest. That is brutal. Turn 9, we're getting to see what actually makes Legendary difficult. It's just the unthinkable cheats the AI get. We're struggling to have two armies of mostly just Marauders. We're struggling, and it's not even... It's one army that's full and one that has, what, a couple of Furies? And we barely can handle it, and we have actually pretty decent amount of territory under our control. Eltharion has a bunch of trash settlements that he's all somehow able to upgrade and also field this many armies. It's brutal stuff.
Hunger for souls.
This one's being set here as a trap.
Certainly not.
That's a clever trap too there, Eltharion, I can't lie.
Time to savor. Just a sample.
Okay, so we need to outfox them.
Khan single.
Switch to an ambush for Nakari. It's a very low chance no matter what.
Next destination. Let me imbibe your essence.
Raiding's a bad idea. I don't think there's any way we can truthfully...
What secrets?
Nah, we'll just go for the channel. Combine the Marauders together.
Prince's Herald.
That way they're as intact as possible. That's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. 18 of them left. Alright, sweet. So Alarielle's bringing through her endless stacks of armies. It's interesting, though, that Nakrasith wasn't also recruiting a whole bunch of stacks. He just had, like, 2 half armies and was just sitting there doing nothing else. Meanwhile, Alarielle comes steaming through with 2 whole armies. While I still don't understand how they managed to do this, I'm not necessarily going to complain this time. We have the cash to steal their bolt throwers. I don't think we have the cash to steal really anything. Nope, and that's fine. First army we can run over with ours, and then Nakari versus Eltharion should be a pretty brutal clash. To the field, my slippery troll dolls. Alright, so we've got a phalanx of pleasure here in the center, and then a couple of flanking forces to wipe out the archers. Let's do this. Yeah, we just want to go straight across, aggressive-like. Use the woods to our advantage.
My perfect flesh quivers in anticipation.
And you have a lot of gross things to say, but good for you.
Most certainly. An intriguing sin. Seeking fresh pleasure.
Rip off to the flank.
A captivating path.
Charge.
Yes! Consume them!
Pain is a gift.
And just rip around. No reason to do anything foolish. Charge through here. Kill them all. Yeah, keep on running. Caught him between a rock and a hard place.
Seeking Slaanesh's embrace.
And then you charge right down the middle here.
Temptation.
Beautiful. Now Nakari shows up. We've got 30 seconds before the rest.
Make that scream.
Nakari, go hang out up front. Your infantry can kind of just take a line here, and then we'll have the demonettes as such. And Nakari can keep wiping out units. Here comes Eltharion.
The beguiling nightmare.
Yes!
The beguiling nightmare.
Demonette of Slaanesh.
Yeah, scared them off, no problem. Charge into these archers. Eagle Claw are gonna start tearing into Nakari. Not that that really matters.
Marauders of Slaanesh.
To slaughter! Yes!
Alright, come on back. Everyone back into the woods here.
To the next victory!
Exactly. Draw their cavalry across,
Bring soul!
where they can be easily killed.
What do you want? Soul trigger.
Sealed to our steeds.
Sweetest suffering.
Spears rush across into the woods and stay away from those horse archers. They think they're clever.
On the hunt!
Sweet suffering awaits.
Marauders of Slaanesh!
Well, those silver helms are very dead.
This will do.
Archers and Eagle Claw are going to open up together. But where is Eltharion? Lock that group, and then we just send them in. Same thing with Nakari's infantry. We lock them, and we send them in. Make Nakari way faster. So fast, he makes fast people look not so fast. Willing prey here. Now everyone's rampaging. It's a great time. Make them scream. Nakari's a little bit bogged down here. Send in some support.
Endless suffering. Yes. Pain is a gift.
These are just horse archers. They are going to get scared off rather quickly. Alright, Nakari, get out of there. Where'd Eltharion go? Oh, there he is. We found him. Wicked damage. Slam into the flank here. All demonettes get to work. Where are my chariots? We've got a lot of them.
We go.
Group 2 come back this way. Group 3 rip in. Nakari, back in yourself. Yeah, let's get the fiends away from Eltharion, please.
Souls for Slaanesh, driven by pain. Claim their souls.
Seekers of Slaanesh.
Profusion of suffering.
Even more whips.
Ecstasy.
The amount of elves that should be running for the hills.
Move with grace. Demonettes.
A little bit more metal spells coming on in. Actually, Eltharion, or not Eltharion, Cavill needs to die.
Seekers of Slaanesh.
Chariots come ripping back into the Silver and Guard.
Kill
Slaanesh's marauders!
Seeking Slaanesh's embrace.
Kill the cavalry.
Endless craving.
Beautiful. Like 3 archers left there that want to fight. Evil bolt throwers are gone. No one leaves.
Escaping doom!
Caval's broken, Eltharian's broken, that's the end. Elven Batman is defeated. Eltharion gets backhanded by a crab claw of justice. Will entice his people to join my faction. Turn 10, we slayed Cavill and Arlian, and then we've got Miss Piercer for the leader we don't care about. Slaanesh is ascendant, you're darn right. Pain for pleasure? We actually also have to take, no, it's 6% damage still. We'll give that to Nikari. Give us some bonus speed, bonus damage, bonus charge. 63 speed on those demonettes is amazing. 127 on Nikari is just ridiculous. Unsubtle Seduction or Soporific Musk. Let's go for Unsubtle Seduction.
I am enlightened.
And then our cultist can summon in a greater demon. Did I remember to summon in any demons that last battle? No. No, I didn't. But now we have the option for greater demons.
Most privileged of.
We don't really need you in the fight. Let's have Nikari go handle Eltharion. Gain that defeat trait. No problem. Still somehow we lose like half the army. We've got to do something about the auto-resolve, CA. Makes it really hard to want to play a... Oh my.
Misguided.
So Belashane just ran.
For souls.
Futile.
Waiting on us to attack Elisali.
Depravity reigns.
We should probably sack Elisali then and fall back. All of the cash that we are garnering can go back to Torakare and the rest of our major settlements here. Or probably just the 2 of these. Went up by 7. Okay, so we'll send Nikari in to attack this major settlement. I don't understand. A close victory. You do know who we are, right? That's also 10 less leadership for everyone in the area. 58 is all they'll have. They'll be like trolls. A bunch of elven trolls. Alright, I've decided. We'll bring the Herald on down in ambush right at the bridge. And then Nikari can kill this settlement. We'll go for another one of our pseudo auto-resolves because this is even easier than Torta for us. Catch you in just a quick moment. And by now we're just embarrassing him. Nikari with 311 kills, and that's only going to get more crazy as we give him even more skills and abilities. We're sacking the settlement. There's too many of them. Plus, we can hide nearby with Nikari. No, maybe not as much as I would like. As long as we're far enough away that we don't get hit by the garrison's forces, well, we should be fine.
You may bow.
You may bow. We need that upkeep production for demonic armies, so let's go ahead and weaken anyone in this province so they can't heal. Yeah, drop that replenishment down by a lot. And the Book of Ashur is incredible for Nikari.
Me imbibe your essence.
He currently doesn't have any bonus of inventory, so we'll just give him the Wormslayer Sword. I realize I probably should have done that already. Talented of Endurance and the Book of Ashur. Trickster Shard can go to Ilian.
My divine
No, it can't.
master.
Most privileged of Slaanesh.
Let's combine these two tricks to shard to get another Book of Assure. Hey, look at that. Potion of Speed and Strength combined to get a Crown of Command. Well, that's fairly lame. I can't lie, that's pretty much the worst thing possible.
Sensuous.
I enjoyed my bonus speed immensely.
How delightful. Just a sorrow.
We will, though, happily pick up Bend the Mind, Bend the Flesh, so we get more speed for our Cultist, up to 111, then 6% for all of our non-demonic infantry, so they're up to 49. That's not bad at all. These Marauders are zooming.
Most privileged of
Natal shall come on over next to Nikari, that way they can ambush as one. We are going to focus aggressively on dealing with Altharion, because then, soon after, we'll have to deal with Tyrion. We may just have to let Alariel... We'll have to hold the line against her until we've killed the other two, and then we can circle in.
Slaanesh Herald.
I'm gonna get one more... 2 more Furies. And then in both Cordiwali and our other newly claimed settlement, we're just gonna throw a pleasure party. Get our growth flowing aggressively.
Excess. Such wanton delight.
Whip them into shape. Then we can drop off another Carnival of the Damned, and I would love to do so. Now we can't get any major capital settlements. What about over here with... Just can't see very far, huh? That's fine. We'll go for a cult party over here in Lyonesse. Enjoy your carnival. Wink. 600 to start building up devotees in both White Peak and Toran Rock sounds great, and we'll just do the same over in Lyonesse. Build up the devotees for now. Alright, Turtle 11. We are moving very slowly here through Nikari's campaign, but that's because it's kind of a spooky one. Where did Alariel go? Down to Torch Vernale, I guess. Works for me. We've got ourselves some Gambler's Armor. And Bel Eshane is hiding.
Rapture.
Hunger for souls.
Oh, Nikari could reach them. I think that's what we're going to go for.
I am irresistible.
Front of Loek has no extra defenses, so it's going to be a field battle. And in that case, we should have no trouble. So, Vital,
I bring you.
please, don't kill very many of Nikari's troops. Oh, you can't even finish that fight, can ya?
Delectable.
You stay here.
Must taste.
Nikari, you push through. We will attack Halar directly, and then we'll fight that battle, picking these poor fools apart one at a time. Yes. Pyrrhic victory, you think so? Ooh, those archers are so cheap. Let's grab a couple of archers from Elishane's force. Yes, 1600 for a victory sounds most excellent.
To the Dark Prince.
Alright, you heard them. Sacrifice their souls to the Dark Prince. We've got a battle strategy of mortals here to kind of tank the brunt of these elves when they show up. Demonettes can then swoop through and kill everyone with a flanking charge. 50% physical resistance, which is, it's not a cheat, it's entirely fine. Fair and balanced.
By the Arch Tempter. Go.
Death through sensation.
I like that the second we declared the attack on him, he disappeared. That is what we call shenanigans. Get to the woods quickly.
Now.
At 30 30, we're good. We got plenty of time. Alright, let's go ahead and make them some willing supplicants. Roll through anyone that wants to fight Nikari. Or Nikari can make them rampage. And at that point, you might as well just give up. Plus Nikari has the banner that's dropping everyone's leadership by an additional 10. Slams in there. The cultist is chopping through the Sea Helm with a quickness. There we have it. First army dealt with. And Nakari can use all of their corpses to recharge his stamina in a hurry. Archers, let's go ahead and move up to the hill here.
We advance.
And then the different waves, of course we wait reinforcements, the different waves of our own infantry are just going to march right in front of them.
The pact requires it.
The pact requires it.
Seeking Slaanesh's embrace.
Keep the spears back so they don't die. But we'll speed things up till the next group comes in. Alright, those elven reinforcements are here. Nakari's pretty much shattered this group, so we don't have to worry about it too much. One more hit. No, okay, I guess the Sea Helm gets to survive. Good for you, buddy. We're all impressed.
Move with grace.
Alright, then we wanted them to charge towards us, so that we could get our pincer movement off and just obliterate them. Gar, you've got plenty of stamina. Let's go over here and just take out these or go past the Furies into the ship's company.
Slaanesh decrees it.
And then we'll bring our Herald into the front line.
Moving.
Orders to
Here be elves.
without fail.
Shut down those archers, and you do the same to the Illyrian Reavers.
Souls for Slaanesh.
Wait for them to get closer. Slaughter the ship's company. You demonettes go right past.
Finding breath.
Charge them. They're just Illyrian Reavers. There's nothing scary there.
To our steeds.
Alright, Nakari, there's a big old blob of idiots. Let's go knock them over.
Bend to our will.
Chase them down. Look how many. Big whip. Oh, that's funny. They disappeared for a moment.
The eternal hunter.
Advance, infantry, advance.
Souls for Slaanesh.
How long till you can summon in demons? Oh, you can now? Go ahead.
New extremes of sensation.
Nakari needs to get over here to help. Struggling a little bit, they are.
Bringers of joyous degradation.
Rip and tear, demonettes, rip and tear. Blast Nakari some free space here.
Sweet kiss.
And whatever's already weak, you drop it and kill it. That is just brutal.
Protectors of all.
Rampage Seaguard.
Endless suffering. Beam!
You got more demons? Oh no, we have the greater demon. That's even better.
Ancestors!
Tackle forward, you turn and charge into this group. You got 2 bound whips, let's use them. Acquiescence. Summon the lash. And I see nothing but fleeing elves. It looks like we've got them. Once again, how freely they offer their souls. That was in fact so decisive that we only lost 21 in the fight. That is marvelous. We will go ahead and... oh, that's full replenishment. We need the momentum for sure. Devotees would have been nice, but it's not that important at the moment. Halar has himself a lovely gift of Slaanesh, and then we can move in and take down the Shrine of Loek. Auto Resolve's still gonna be quite mean to us, isn't it? Yeah, that's just unfortunate to see. We loot and occupy. I am a petty thief. One that is quite rich. Demons have a higher chance of coming on back from the dead at once slain. They'll have more health, they cost less, and then our Keepers of Secrets and Soul Grinders will then feast on fear. I like how this says exceptional fiends still, and yet it's not actually boosting up fiends anymore. Depressing. We'll take Monstrous Figure.
My divine master.
129 speed. You'll lose some defense, but that bonus feat large is just brutal.
Slaanesh
Anyone
is
up on a
part of the
horse
sun.
is doomed. We'll just chuck a point into Spread Corruption, and then a couple more into Deadly Blade. Ooh. Corruption, Blade, and Slippery. Speed and 24 more melee defense.
Drink in my
Here they might be the only cultists that are naturally slippery, but maybe not. Or Vress up to a Dimensional Breach. Koriwali the same. And Akari has 2 turns before we can do anything. Alright, we'll save our gold. We don't want to upgrade any of the minor settlements because that's where Avalorn will dedicate the majority of their power. Good to see Bellicor arriving as well. Even if he hates the other Dark Gods. We are glad to see him. Here, Dakari, before we switch into that, can we actually... Ooh, more Demonettes? So it shall be.
You're tempted.
Well, they're tempted into one group, so tempted, maybe. Maybe not so much. 6 Demonettes is a good number.
Prince's Herald.
And we'll grab a couple more Furies here. 6 Furies is enough to deal with any of Valariel's flyers, even if she manages to overwhelm our defenders with her tree people. We can at least make sure she has no archers going forward.
Delectable.
We are actually going to go ahead and destroy the population preparation here and replace it with a different cult building. Since all of our cults are here, though, in Ulthuan, it is probably best we just save for now. It would be really cool if the Slaughterhorn tribe managed to survive. We can get a trade agreement with it. Ooh, even up to an offensive alliance. Which means he's very likely almost dead. We'll just take trade and see how it goes.
Godmaker. You summoned the first prince. Are you prepared?
Yeah, Bellicor, you're our buddy.
What is it?
Calm that attitude down.
Speak!
If I need to deal with you, that will be less than a problem. You go fight the Bretonnians, let me handle the elves. Oh man, Howler makes it nice and easy for us. And Gandalfa. Well, we get a Pyrrhic victory, we take out everyone inside the settlement, and we get to just claim it. Turn 12, the Scourge of Cain is gone, which means Aloria will be turning her greedy little gaze towards us quite soon. Slaughterhorn tribe's gone too. Yeah, I didn't think he was going to stick around much longer. Rejected by the alluring top notes of inescapable doom. Now you can't reduce the melee attack on our Demonettes ever. Hungry for flesh, Dakari? Here's some. Lady Gandalf. You better not kill any, that's what I thought. But my troops better all survive this. Entice them. Indeed, we can probably leave Howler alive. Especially as we come back over here towards Carenthel. Time to save her. Our next main opponent going to be Lothern. We can subjugate Torivres. Yes. The first ones we will. Elven Batman joins the dark side. Immortal Temptations, also a huge burst of favor and Obsidian Blade devotees. Quite nice, quite nice. Well, Nakari. Can we recruit troops here? We cannot. Alright, then we'll just go into an ambush and snooch on by.
Most privileged of
Most privileged and most excellent. Let's go ahead and have Vital here. Disband.
pleasure.
Let me just wait for L'Oreal. She's going to absolutely hit the Shrine of Kurnos. Since all this is doing is giving us Furies, I'm going to destroy this building. Recoup some of the gold, and it makes L'Oreal's attack not as worthwhile.
Artisan of
I'm going to ignore L'Oreal, and we're going to go after
Herald
Lothern.
of the Dark Prince.
Let's give you a Demonette or two.
Slaanesh Herald.
Kare's about to upgrade. Yeah, upgrading the Shrine of Kurnos and getting in our Altar of the Ecstatic Hunt is going to be great, but we don't want to just rush towards that, because then we're just going to lose it to L'Oreal. Repair Trilinia. Repair the Shrine of Loex so we don't have as many issues with our control, and... Speaking of, let's try to fix control where possible. A Pleasure Hunt. A lot better control. Just go for a Pleasure Party. 2,100 of our devotees.
We shall exceed all excess.
Parties everywhere.
Divine immortality.
Including an Akare, or do we just go for the Pleasure Arena? This hurts our control. Will that immediately cause a rebellion? It will. So instead, we're just gonna go for another party.
Such wanton delights await.
I bring Azurian's fire.
Guardian of the Phoenix Crown.
Then we're gonna use those devotees to go for a Charm Offensive here in Tiranoc and a Charm Offensive in Tor on Lek. Ooh, I lied. Hang on. There's something dastardly we can do over here in Onlek. Destroy this one. Hop in the Seduce units. That costs 5 devotees a turn. In fact, keep this in. We're going to teleport Nakari over here later on if we see that L'Oreal's in a dangerous spot. Storm Offensive. Back into our technology, we will simply go up with Glorious Doom Riders, Darkling Delights, into Fiends of Torment. Upgrading all of our kind of early tier demonic units. Then we'll come up into Sensations. It just takes a long time to get your research up and running. The reason being, you have all of the different pleasurable acts that can boost it by 12 each, which you should be doing here as soon as you have your territory under control. Therian immediately declares war, and my vassal refuses to join my side. Turn 13, the ambush of course did not work. So did they remain our... They remain our vassal that has chosen not to join us in war, which is interesting. I didn't know you could do that. Well, let's scoot forward a little bit here. We've got Alistar and then Aether Loss. I think we're just going to scoot up towards Eregial there. We have some of our own elves defending. Not that they're going to survive against Alistar, the worst legendary lord. Ilian, you can become a better blade shield. Look at you, look at you. Let's give you Gambler's Armor and the Obsidian Blade. Actually become a threat. Drop off another Disciple army. Oh yeah.
To the corner banquet.
And then we attack Atharlos. Our first... Oh, Tyrion's up in the Shrine of Assyrian. Gotta make sure this battle goes well then, don't we? Surround them. I simply won't be able to micro both armies at the same time. However, here's what we're gonna do.
Slaanesh. Spreading seduction.
Ah, you can't do it. I was hoping we could get an ambush. Problem with this, we get attacked by Tyrion and Alistar next turn.
Misguided.
Prince's herald.
We'll have reinforcements, though. Decisive victory, you can't trust it. So here's what we'll do. How much gold do we have? Plenty. Let's steal the Great Eagle.
Turn your coat, little one.
And these archers.
Resistance is such a vulgar notion.
Brother, I would agree. And then let's go have ourselves a battle against Atherlos. We'll have a couple probably here, because Tyrion and Alistar will fight us immediately after. Alright, deployed, and we've got ourselves a couple of battle groups. We've got our infantry kind of staggered here. That way the first group can crash into the elves. They start getting shot, we can send the second group in, and our archers start picking off the other archers across the field. Hellstriders and everyone else going to charge through the trees, use Strider to their advantage. Same thing with these demonettes. We'll bring in the secondary group if we feel that we need it. We'll just at least advance them across the field. Slaanesh can move quickly enough to actually reinforce one another, unlike most other factions. Stick to the trees, Nakari.
Pain and despair.
Then you lot advance, but also kind of stick to the trees.
Orders never fail.
An intriguing sin.
Marauders never fail.
Supple servants of Slaanesh.
Have the demonettes come bouncing through the woods on this side. Alright, we'll see if Nakari and the cultists can deal with the enemy lord. I think chances are pretty good. We move really, really quickly.
Charge. This will do.
Cultists go to the archers. Nakari just powers straight through into those Eagle Claw.
No one faster.
Keep slashing through there, Nakari. Slam into the Eagle Claw. Move on back. We'll just let Nakari kind of continue to handle things by himself here. Slippery boys. Nakari needs to fall back. That's a lot of elves. Just wade right through them. They're completely unable to be controlled. Alright, let's go ahead and dive into the woods again. Dive into the woods real quick. Alright, our reinforcements are here. Let's get them in their own unit. Lock that one. That one fireballs at her own. Her own eagle's an interesting strategy. Don't need to go for the overcast, just break us some space. Come on, Nakari, get moving. Your cultist has demonettes to drop in as well, which is incredible. They're all just in one spot. What we call a bad idea. Obliterates the first group of archers. Should be able to activate the charge, cutting through the next. Let's kill those rangers. Any of this damage Nakari has taken, we can heal very easily, simply by making these enemies run. So wave 1, kill this. Send in the infantry. In fact, let's go ahead and send in both sets of infantry. Nakari, stay near. Let's go help out the cultist. And I didn't necessarily mean to stay that near, but it does work. Because now they're all rampaging and they get charged from behind. Oh, that's horrifying.
Pain is a gift. Surging on.
Nah, there's no reason to be foolish. Get down the troops that are already engaged in melee. Raider Demon of Slaanesh.
Demon X!
And now we just get to charge through like crazy. Kill those lions.
We must.
I didn't even bring my Hellstriders in.
Bring us souls.
They yearn to tear throats.
Torches! Sweet kiss!
Endless suffering.
There's an archer over there that needs to be killed. Nakari, go put him down. Did we expect anything else? Almost none die. We should make sure Nakari heals. Only 12 of our own ended up falling. I didn't even use the eagle, but we paid some gold to steal it from our enemy, so that they didn't get to use it either. Let's go ahead and loot and occupy. It's not stealing, we're strategically relocating it to an alternate location. Now's the time to go ahead and upgrade our demons. We'll pick up Demon Inspiration, getting them 4 attack and 6 charge bonus.
My divine master.
Blade shield for Ilian. And then I am actually going to switch back to that ambush, because we might catch Alistar. No, we're not going to catch Tyrion, but we might catch the White Lion.
Misguided.
Misguided. You're about to find out, aren't you?
The Fang Sword hungers to meet your neck.
Not very keen on trading, is Altharion.
I would see you cold and dead.
Allied mission to hunt down the Red Duke. I hope the Red Duke stays far, far away from me. I did forget I declared war on him. Actually, can I...
Mostly grows.
He doesn't want peace. No peace. Ever.
Most privileged.
For our car we get the Opera of Dusk and Dawn. And then we grab the Sensuous Caress, because we need fiends. If we take a quick look at our Regiment of Renown... Oh, hang on, now the Riders of the Mighty Serpent were free LC. I didn't even realize. These guys are great. We're going to go ahead and get rid of these Normie Marauders, though, for the Bringers of Beguilement. Exalted Demonettes. Well, we were spotted by Alistar, but here's the thing. We can just use this army to auto-resolve him. Which I'm going to. No one else gets involved, just Tarnius. That is amazing. And then Tyrion attacks Tarnius as well, that we can go ahead and auto-resolve. Yeah, we can. Ikari's force is fairly well intact, and we offer them up as tribute. Turn 14, Alistar now has a gift, Tyrion has a gift, everyone gets a gift. Ulthuan undefeated, I'm sad this is for Tarnius, but hopefully we can get it on Ikari as well soon. Mission aborted, that's too bad. Peggy's gonna go ahead and smash their way into Ulthuan as well. Interesting strategy. Can I summon in another devotee army? I think they already told me not for a few turns. I want both the Shrine of Assyrian and Lothern, so if the undead pirates decide to take it, we'll have to beat them up. So I have decreed. So it shall be. Circle for now. We'll have to fight that one ourselves just because of the Phoenix Guard.
Pleasure without conscience.
We can also come on over to Lothern. Use Tarnius as a just lock them down for a turn. Hopefully Lothern doesn't take their turn, or hopefully Noctilus rather takes his turn before Lothern. I don't know that he does, but we'll see. Demonic Inspiration, and for Ilian, Blade Shield, and more health. Oh man, there's no way we have to Be locked in for a turn. Infernal Martyrdom. Casualties captured plus 40%. Okay then. Don't mind if I do.
Levels begin.
And then we attack the Shrine of Assyrian. I'm just going to count this as an auto-resolve, just because we can go ahead and... Well, hang on now. If I grab this Phoenix, then no one dies. Hey, that's perfect. Now it can be an auto-resolve. It was always the Phoenix. That'd be great, but we need the Shrine for one of our missions, so therefore we'll just claim it. Our short victory campaign, we need the Flame of Assyrian claimed.
Pleasure.
I'm almost certain.
Pleasure's sake.
Oh, no, through ourselves or vassals. Well, we could have brought back some Dark Elves, but you know what? I am happy to have all of Ulthuan just to be.
Time to savor. I must taste flesh.
We'll make Nikari even faster, up to 141 speed. There is absolutely no catching him. An onslaught for Ilion. We can upgrade this capital, and we shall. And then we'll recruit a few more demonettes here. And then we've gone ahead and combined up a few of the troops, a couple of the demonettes, a couple of the marauders. That way we can grab some more. Before we do, we're going to go to the Pleasurable Axe and hit the Pleasure Hunt. With them into shape, we get demonettes at a discount and at higher tier. We can also go ahead and pick up the good old Internal Entourage, which is basically just Slaanesh's very best cavalry. Ton of damage, and then they have the Obsessive Adoration, so as long as there is a Lord or Hero in range, they deal even more damage. Or at least they buff up that Lord or Hero. One or the other, and it's either way fantastic. Lothern sallies out to try to stop us, which is fine, we retreat. And in one fell swoop, Noctilus has just about knocked out my vassal faction, which is rather rude. I guess we'll have to deal with him next. His army is, frankly, garbage, so I'm not concerned. We march on Lothern.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Receive.
Heroic victory? Yep, nope, this will be the last battle we actually end up having to fight. We will grab a couple of these archers, because good grief are they cheap. Seduce.
Delectable.
Man, we could even
proposition.
steal more. There are 3 archers. It's gonna make Lothern's fight incredibly difficult. Plus, now, these archers have some extra resistance. Thank you, Mathlin. Alright, well, we started this campaign as a dastardly snake. We should end this campaign as a dastardly snake. Let's do this. You elven dogs still haven't figured it out. That is a shame. Demonettes, deploy. Everyone else across. Nikari, you two. The walls of Lothern are going to be much more dangerous. But do we care? No. I mean, Nikari might care a little bit. That hurt quite a bit. Nikari, what are you doing? There we go. Taking a rather strange angle across. Yeah, no, we can't get hit by very many of those. That needs to stop. How they're keeping the towers active with like 2 troops? I don't know, that's pretty impressive. Archer's now ready to engage his Lothern Sea Guard as they come across, though.
As you say.
Just stay ahead of those towers. Otherwise, we are in trouble. Demonettes deploy, we'll have the Exalted Demonettes get up top.
Archers.
Alright, we've captured the gates. Now, which means all of our large targets can go charging into these silver helms.
The Dark Princess servant. You
Go smack down the silver helms. Our archers are outside. Towers being very clever with their choice of targets.
Blow like wine.
Everything here in other demonettes. Move up. Why are you drawing us back to the back corner? What's the point of this? Accept your demise and quit being a coward. Marauders. I'm going to send you in directly. Exactly, to do just that. Nothing left of the silver helms. Let's move into this platform. Ooh, I lied, it was all a joke. We're going straight after these light archers.
Archers! Azar, advance! Death to all! By Alario!
Just weaken whomever you can.
Pain is a gift.
The serpent strikes.
Demons go charge these silver helms.
Beautiful.
Nukari's here first. Whip them into shape.
Supple servants of Slaanesh.
Blend them down.
Bringers of
Into the Lothern Sea Guard. They think themselves immune to damage. How wrong they are. Our elves, you go ahead and shoot. Well, no, you keep moving. Our elves shoot these spears.
hard seekers of Slaanesh.
Didn't have time to brace. That is what we call a shame.
Sweet depravity.
Meanwhile, silver helms are getting mauled. And our infantry is just all stuck, trying to get over the walls. They are embarrassing us, as per usual.
Move with grace.
Let's go knock out this unit next. Heart Seekers, you go with Nukari.
Decadent seekers.
No way to brace now, fools.
Archers! It will be done!
To the walls, archers.
Guided by hunger.
You gotta keep on moving, none of you have heals like Nukari.
Agonizing death.
Dark whispers of glory.
Break the barricade. Then you lot come charging through whenever you can. It's gonna be a little bit. Speed you up, speed you up.
Marauders of slaughter,
Shooting at a few of our marauders.
transgression and submission. At one
Endless craving. The bejeweled one now waits.
Well, let's capture this real quick. Everyone over here at the same time for all the maximum capture weight.
We are in
You too, Nukari, what are you doing? Whip drops down, Furies you can get out of there, everything that's not a Fury. You charge.
Divine slaughter.
Except for you, Hellstriders, you're kind of weak. It's nothing personal, it's just what you are. Weakness is to be
Protest of Slaanesh.
shunned.
Evil and
Princes of Perfection are charging in, what, one at a time? What a great idea, boys.
quench the thirst.
Take those archers out. Phoenix Guard are broken, let's keep moving. And then Nikari's entourage can charge this poor unit of spearmen. Their leadership's gone. Who wants to actually stand and fight Nikari?
drinking pain. Cleanse flesh. Faster.
Take out these Sea Guard.
For the Dark Prince!
Entourage, turn and take out the other cavalry there. The duel you really shouldn't have any problems with. The fall of Lothern, and at this point you've got yourself a very good position to capture the rest of the donut and continue your Slaanesh campaign in victory.
Orders received.
Easy game, easy money. 12,000. Nah, we're gonna go ahead and occupy Lothern. It's actually an incredible settlement. And we get to keep it in tier 2 with the straits fixed. We don't have to rebuild them, and we've got a shrine to Decadence, so we can pick up some Chaos Furies. We are long past the point of needing Chaos Furies. Long past. From here, we will pick up such sites to show you for the Keepers of Secrets, Chaos War Shrines, Praeton, and Soul Grinder, which we only have, what, 2 of these? Keepers of Secrets and Soul Grinders, but Nikari buffs them up, so we'll make them even stronger.
My divine master.
Scarred Veteran for you there, Cultist. And like I said, from here you have a very good position to just wipe out
Seize deathly
Lothern. You could then go into Illyrian and chop through them nice and easy, or you could leave Illyrian alone and then just circle, blast through Noctilus and his pathetic armies, and then kill your way through into the Gain Vale. Either way, you've got an army building up over here. Your economy is actually starting to become something that is
privileged of Slaanesh.
able to support more troops, so you can actually defend Torikari or your other settlements, especially
Depravity reigns.
in these choke points and just in the forest battles in general. Alariel and the elves struggle because those arrows don't fly through the woods. They're not quite like their Azrai kin, where those arrows actually, I think, have full woodsmen, so they fire through trees without any trouble. Your high elves do have that problem, so you have no trouble taking them out in the forest battles, as we've shown off a couple times here. Once you've completed your short campaign victory and taken out your kind of first main 3 rivals, from there, the world's your oyster. You decide where to go next, mainly based on who dislikes you the most and who has the most vassal potential. That is going to be our Slaanesh campaign guide, though. If there's anything that you think I might have missed here in this guide, please do leave that in the comments below and help build our strategic knowledge together. If you enjoyed this video, please do remember to leave a like for like god and a sub for the sub thone, and I'll see you all fine folk in the next one.